reminding me last night. Also, nice reminder and check-in. So thank you. And Hare Krishna to everyone. So nice to join this wonderful morning Sangha. So today we will be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter number 69, texts 25 through 29. I don't know if we have facility to share the screen. I can do it. I'm doing it from a phone rather than a computer. So I don't know if there's any facility for that. Otherwise, we can make it work, no problem.
Yes, Prabhu, you should be able to share your screen now.
Okay. Can everyone see database?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. Thank you. We'll get to chapter 69, which is entitled Narada Muni Visits Lord Krishna's Palaces in Dwarka. Okay, here we are. We'll start with text number 25. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we'll chant the verse. Kvapi sandhyam upasinam japantam brahma vagyatam ekatra chasi charmabhyam charantam asivartmasu. Translation, purport by the dedicated followers of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Somewhere Lord Krishna was observing the rituals for worship at sunset by refraining from speech and quietly chanting the Gayatri mantra. And elsewhere, he was moving about with sword and shield in the areas set aside for sword practice. Purport. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti, the words Sandhyam Upasinam indicate sunset rituals, whereas the words Asi Charmabhyam Charantam refer to sword practice, which takes place at dawn. Ashver Gajai Rathai Kvapi Vicharantam Gadagrajam Vachich Chayanam Paryanke Stuyamanam Chavandibihi. In one place, Lord Gadagraj was riding on horses, elephants, and chariots, and in another place he was resting on his bed while bards recited his glories. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti points out that riding on horses and elephants is a noon activity, whereas one lies down during the latter part of night. Mantrayantam chakashmim shin mantri bishchodavadibihi jalakridaratam kvapi varamukya balavritam. Somewhere he was consulting with royal ministers like Uddhava, and somewhere else he was enjoying in the water, surrounded by many society girls and other young women. Purport. This translation is based on Srila Prabhupada's Krishna. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti, Lord Krishna met with his counselors around dusk and enjoyed water sports in the afternoon. Kutrachidvija mukyebhyo dadatam ga svalankritaha itihasa puranani shrinvantam mangalani cha. Somewhere he was giving well-decorated cows to exalted brahmanas, and elsewhere he was listening to the auspicious narration of epic histories and Puranas. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti informs us that giving cows in charity occurs in the morning, while hearing the histories takes place in the afternoon. Oh, I'm sorry, dear devotees. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Hasantam hasa kataya kadachit priyaya grihe kvapi dharmam sevamanam arthakamau chakutrachit. Somewhere, Lord Krishna was found enjoying the company of a particular wife by exchanging joking words with her. Somewhere else, he was found engaged, along with his wife, in religious ritualistic functions. Somewhere, Krishna was found engaged in matters of economic development. Somewhere else, he was found enjoying family life according to the regulative principles of the Shastras. This translation is based on Srila Prabhupada's Krishna. Joking conversations take place during the nighttime, whereas religious rituals, economic development, and family enjoyment occur during both the day and the night. Okay. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya. So thank you all so much for joining this morning. And before we begin, just want to humbly request everyone's blessings. Adi Purusha Prabhu, Arjuna Prabhu, our dear Jainitai and Baba Bhakti Prabhus, Manohar Prabhu, everyone who is present in this assembly. We thank you so much for joining and praying that we can speak in a way that is pleasing to our acharyas, aligned with our acharyas, and also gives us some inspirational takeaways for our spiritual lives. Hare Krishna. So this section is displaying a number of special qualities of Krishna's. So first, that Krishna is the ultimate enjoyer. Krishna is enjoying so many different types of pastimes with so many wives all at the same time. And in this unique, mystical sort of fashion, he's performing activities that are typically done in the daytime and typically done in the nighttime simultaneously. So Krishna, his enjoyment is not only, it's not in any way construed as a selfish enjoyment, because what we see is that Krishna's devotees derive immense enjoyment. In some cases, our acharyas explain higher enjoyment in a way by participating in these pastimes. So Krishna is the ultimate enjoyer, and he reciprocates very personally and individually with all of his parts and parcels. So Krishna is reciprocating with his ministers, he's reciprocating with his wives, he's reciprocating with all of the different personalities present in Dwarka. He's reciprocating with them uniquely through these pastimes. So Krishna is undertaking so many different activities. And it's explained that Krishna is doing this for several reasons, right? Often with Krishna's pastimes, there are internal and external reasons. So Krishna, of course, appears in order to deliver the pious and annihilate the miscreants. And he appears whenever there's a predominant rise in irreligion and a decline in religious principles. So in these different pastimes, by chanting Gayatri, by donating to the Brahmanas, by doing so many of these pious activities, he's, for our benefit, he's demonstrating these religious principles. Of course, Krishna himself is above and beyond all religious principles. He's the source of all religious principles, and he's also exempt from all religious principles, because everything that he does gives ultimate pleasure and happiness to all living beings. So it's not that Krishna is forbidden from stealing, like ordinary living beings are forbidden from stealing. Krishna, as a young boy, will be celebrating Krishna's birth and childhood pastimes tomorrow, as we try to celebrate every day, but particularly tomorrow as we approach Janmashtami. So Krishna can steal from the cowherd women of Vrindavan. He can steal butter, he can steal from them, he can break the pots, and yet they're so pleased by all of this activity in a transcendental way. They may chastise him, but ultimately it's pleasing to their hearts. Similarly, Krishna is not exempt. He's not forbidden from killing, though ordinary living beings, we're restricted from killing. Krishna kills demons, and actually by killing these demons, he does several things. He liberates those personalities, and he also attracts our hearts. He attracts our hearts and reminds us that we have our own personal demons that need to be killed, and we pray to Krishna for his assistance in helping us to rid ourselves of these anarthas, these unwanted qualities that are exemplified by many of these demonic personalities that we hear of in Krishna's pastimes. So Krishna has his internal and external reasons. So on one level, yes, he's demonstrating artha, kama, dharma, moksha, these four principles of life in this world. But as he's above all of those things, actually, Krishna is also performing these pastimes for his own deep enjoyment. He's exemplifying and engaging in so many different types of pastimes according to different moods. Krishna is the source of all rasas, of all spiritual feelings. So he's enjoying this variety. So Krishna is demonstrating his incredible opulence to attract the hearts of the devotees. Srila Prabhupada also explains this, that Krishna performs his pastimes for some external purpose of taking care of irreligion and problems in this world. He's also performing his activities for his own sweet enjoyment by his own sweet will, and that he also is performing his pastimes to attract the minds and hearts of the devotees, of the conditioned souls, ultimately, that they hear of Krishna's pastimes, and they see that Krishna, of course, the meaning of Krishna is the all attractive one. So Krishna is attracting us by these incredible pastimes. And Krishna is transcending in these pastimes time as well, right? So he's performing noontime activities alongside the evening activities in so many different places at so many different times. So of course, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Kalosmi, he says that I am time. So because Krishna is time, he is not subjected to the ordinary constraints of time. One wonderful description from one of our acharyas, I'm trying to remember exactly which acharya, please forgive me, but one of our predecessor acharyas, he's explaining how Vrindavan Dham is like a flower that can open and close. The petals can come further apart and closer together. So if Krishna needs to take a long journey somewhere to facilitate the beauty and the exchange of a particular pastime, it can take a long time. At the same time, if he wants to cover a large distance in just a moment, he can also do that by his mystic potency. So what we're seeing in these particular pastimes is Krishna is also defying time in the same way and demonstrating his internal potency, his mystic potency. So Krishna in these pastimes is also, he's seeking relationship. He's seeking relationship because he actually seeks relationship with all of his parts and parcels. Not just that Krishna mercifully allows us to seek relationship with him. Of course he does, and that is a great mercy, that everyone has the potential to revive and engage with their personal connection to Krishna and his devotees. But also that Krishna wishes for our relationship with him. And this is a profound mercy of the Supreme Lord, that Krishna actually derives happiness and feels complete when we are using our free will to lovingly engage with him. So I'll read one verse from Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Yes. Ye yata mam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamyaham mama vartmanu vartante manushya partha sarvashaha. Krishna says, as all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. And I'll read from Srila Prabhupada's purport about how Krishna not only reciprocates according to the depth of one's surrender, but also according to the quality of one's surrender. So again, we hear about the beautiful variety in Krishna's exchanges with his devotees. Purport. Everyone is searching for Krishna in the different aspects of his manifestations. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is partially realized in his impersonal Brahmajyotir effulgence and as the all-pervading supersoul dwelling within everything, including the particles of atoms. But Krishna is fully realized only by his pure devotees. Consequently, Krishna is the object of everyone's realization, and thus anyone and everyone is satisfied according to one's desire to have him. In the transcendental world also, Krishna reciprocates with his pure devotees in the transcendental attitude, just as the devotee wants him. One devotee may want Krishna as supreme master, another as his personal friend, another as his son, and still another as his lover. Krishna rewards all the devotees equally according to their different intensities of love for him. In the material world, the same reciprocations of feelings are there, and they are equally exchanged by the Lord with the different types of worshippers. The pure devotees, both here and in the transcendental abode, associate with him in person and are able to render personal service to the Lord and thus derive transcendental bliss in his loving service. So Krishna is reciprocating according to the depth of our surrender, but also according to the quality of our surrender. So Krishna is in these wonderful pastimes showing so many different aspects of his transcendental self in order to reciprocate with different types of devotees who are approaching him in different ways. his eternal associates. They approach him in different moods, and Krishna enjoys this variety also. So everything emanates from Krishna, of course. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, everything emanates from me. I'm the source of all spiritual and material worlds. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So Krishna, everything emanates from him. Krishna is not wanting for anything in that sense, that everything is already contained within Krishna. Krishna is Atmaram, he's self-satisfied. Yet in these loving interactions, in these special types of interactions with his devotees, Krishna becomes very partial. He explains in Bhagavad Gita that he's equal to everyone. He's equal to all. He's not partial. Yet, one who worships him, one who is devoted to him, that person is a friend to him, and that person is in him. So he does have this special affection for his devotees. So Krishna, in one sense, everything is coming from him. Of course, everything's coming from Krishna. Yet we worship Krishna. We worship the person of Krishna. We don't worship just everything. Okay, everything comes from Krishna, so I'm just going to worship everything. Yes, we see the beauty in everything. We try to remember Krishna in relationship to everything that we behold, knowing that it's all coming from him. But at the same time, we want to worship Krishna. Like Srila Prabhupada emphasizes that the Virat Rupa, the universal form that we understand, I shouldn't say understand, we don't, it's completely inconceivable, but the universal form that we read of in Bhagavad Gita is not the object of worship for Vaishnavas. Srila Prabhupada explains that because we wish to connect with the source of all, the sweet absolute, who's the source of all. So Krishna as a person, his two-handed, threefold bending form with flute, peacock feather, this form of Krishna is the ultimate goal for the devotees. So we don't worship just the cosmos, knowing that Krishna is the source of the cosmos. We worship Krishna and we worship his devotees. This is the spirit. We try to follow in the footsteps of great devotees who have developed this attraction to the all-attractive one. So Krishna is constantly being served by the goddesses of fortune. We hear in these pastimes that Krishna is constantly being served by his different wives, who are all goddesses of fortune. He's being served by them. And everyone in this material world, everyone in this world is seeking after the goddess of fortune. They're seeking after Lakshmi, particularly, the way in which she is embodied in wealth. So everyone is seeking that. Yet, we may feel that, oh, my life is too busy. I'm seeking after Lakshmi. I'm seeking after material success. So we may feel that this takes precedence over our spiritual endeavors. Yet it's very instructive and very helpful here to see how the goddesses of fortune, after whom everyone is aspiring in the material sense, everyone is looking according to material standards, that's kind of the ultimate goal, this wealth. Yet all of the goddesses of fortune, when we see what they are doing, what are they doing? They're serving Krishna. They're engaging in pastimes with Krishna. They're completely captured by Krishna in so many ways. So Krishna possesses unlimited opulences. So we may become attracted to the opulences of this world, yet we understand that all of this is coming from Krishna. And when we develop that understanding, then everything becomes wonderfully reconciled. We can feel peaceful in this world, seeing that everything is coming from Krishna. So we'll just also mention one other point here, that Krishna in these pastimes, he's playing the part also of a householder, of a grihasta, who is situated properly in the principles of religion. So Krishna is demonstrating that household life can also be engaged with in a spiritual way. It doesn't need to be a distraction from Krishna consciousness. I was reading a lecture from His Holiness Kadamba Kanana Swami Maharaj, And he's talking about how household life can be very dangerous because sense enjoyment is right there. It's like very close and it's very accessible within household life. But in the ideal sense, household life doesn't have to be any sort of distraction from the path of pure devotional
So I
service.
have to pick him out in a bit.
So,
Okay. Oh, you know that you have a cookie, right?
so the household life is Krishna is demonstrating here that his engagement. He's showing that householder life doesn't need to be any sort of distraction. We can fully walk the path of devotional service in whatever ashram that we're in. But the key principle behind this is absorption in Krishna consciousness, absorption in Krishna. So, so in this pastime, Krishna is really demonstrating also the religious principles. He's doing that for our benefit and showing that whatever ashram we may find ourselves in, whatever circumstances we may find ourselves in, we're striving to continually remember Krishna in all that we're doing and make an offering of our life. Krishna, this is the circumstance I'm in. This is the circumstance that you've kindly placed me in. Please allow me to make an offering of this circumstance. Allow it to be lived out in a way that becomes an offering to you, in a way that's pleasing to you. So this can be, our intention as we move through life, as we go through our different circumstances, as Krishna exemplifies here, to uphold remembrance of Krishna as we go through our life. And it's explained in this pastime. Krishna, even for our benefit, he meditates on the Supreme Lord. Krishna being the Supreme Lord, he himself meditates on the Supreme Lord to exemplify this point, that whatever we do, whatever circumstance we're in, we try to meditate upon Krishna, try to remember Krishna in all that we're doing, and remember, like in these pastimes, that Krishna is with us in so many different circumstances. Just as in the kingdom of Dwarka, Krishna is present at every circumstance, whether it's planning strategic plans, whether it's enjoying with his wives, whether it's performing playful activities. Krishna is always present. So we try to remember in our own life that Krishna is always present. We try to tap into that reality. Okay. Hare Krishna, thank you all so much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. And we will open things up to everyone's reflections, thoughts, questions. Eager to hear from you all. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Dina Bandhu Prabhu. What a wonderful discourse on the nature of Krishna's enjoyment and our place in it. Thank you, Prabhu. We don't feel envious or excluded when you were talking about Krishna's enjoyment. Thank you. One detail that I wanted to ask about. So Krishna was sporting in a swimming pool with community girls. What is that supposed to mean? Why was that necessary? And also, were Krishna's wives aware of each other? In other words, did they know that there were other women in Krishna's life? I don't know, it's a mundane thinking, but sometimes we're drifted into that.
Thank you for the wonderful questions, Ananda Bihari Prabhu. So regarding Krishna's sporting in the swimming pool with the society girls, this is also going back to this principle that Krishna is the ultimate enjoyer. And Krishna, by his enjoyment, only uplifts and blesses his devotees. So Krishna, just as in his Vrindavan pastimes, Krishna is enjoying and having many wonderful pastimes with the gopis, who are the highest exemplars of devotion. So in Dwarka, his queens in Dwarka are also expanded from his pleasure potency. They're the divine feminine energy. So in engaging in these pastimes, Krishna is also experiencing these loving exchanges in a slightly different mood, because of course in the kingdom of Dwarka, Krishna is there as a king, and this component of kind of social code is more present. there. But yeah, it may be bewildering for us to hear these pastimes. And of course, in Krishna's Vrindavan pastimes, there are similar pastimes of playing in the water with his wonderful, his utmost devotees. So Krishna is also enacting these pastimes, but in a slightly different mood in Dwarka. But Krishna is the ultimate enjoyer, and in this way, everything is expanded from Krishna. Everyone's expanded from Krishna. So he is engaging with his different potencies, different energies, and of course, on a personal level with his devotees, reciprocating with their hearts. So it's a very elevated topic. I don't feel that I can expound too much upon it, but this is what I've understood from my mentors and from Srila Prabhupada. So that's that. And then also you were asking about, what was the second part of your question, Prabhu?
Those 16,000 wives, were they aware of each other?
Yeah. Maybe one of our exalted devotees here can speak upon that, because I actually don't know that detail. I know that in Vrindavan pastimes, of course, the gopis are aware of each other because they're working together, they're collaborating together for the pleasure of Shri Radha Krishna. So they're aware of each other. Though in the pastime of the rasa dance, they're not aware of each other, you can say, in the sense that they're all having this experience that it's only them with Krishna. So I'm open to hearing. Please, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, you can hear me okay?
Yeah.
Excellent questions. We hear these activities of Krishna, and it's not just an ordinary story. Hearing about Krishna's pastime purifies our desire, and Krishna is extraordinary. We can't measure him by what we do. Like you said, he might steal, he might kill, he might be sporting in the swimming pool with the girls, but Krishna is the enjoyer, and everyone else is feminine, meant to give pleasure to him one way or the other. And that's very extraordinary, because we're, in one sense, envious of Krishna, thinking, well, I should be the enjoyer, which is unnatural for us. Or we might not comprehend by logic, well, how can he do that? He can do that, right? Krishna can do that. And it's perfectly normal and wonderful and relishable, and helps us to just get out of the box of our ordinary way of looking at things. And your class was so wonderful because you just kept speaking about Krishna and Krishna and Krishna. And this is medicine. This is healing. What does it say? Srinvatam Sukata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana. The Lord cleanses material desire from the heart of the devotee who relishes his messages and his pastimes. We hear about, things that Krishna does, and then our consciousness is purified, and we can relax and relish Krishna enjoying, right? Now, well, how can he do that? We don't have that kind of a response. He can and does, and will continue to do that. And then when we actually accept that and accept our position as designated to please him, we are satisfied to see Krishna pleased by anyone and everyone. We're not like he was asking, are they envious of each other? And no, the spiritual world, the things we see in this world are conspicuous by their absence. Krishna is completely, totally transcendental. How wonderful is Krishna? Well, glory to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much. I hope that will help clarification. We're just repeating what we heard from Srila Prabhupada. Before we speak, we actually prayed to Srila Prabhupada, please show us what to say. And then after speaking, if somebody will find themselves saying, how wonderful is Krishna, then our speaking is actually, appropriate. All glory to Prabhupada.
How wonderful is Krishna?
All right.
How wonderful is Krishna. Everybody
so much,
unmute
Hare Krishna,
themselves and
Prabhu.
say how
Thank
wonderful is Krishna. Okay, unmute. Everybody on Zoom, unmute. Say how wonderful is Krishna.
How wonderful is
How
Krishna.
How
How
wonderful
wonderful
is
is Krishna.
How
How wonderful is Krishna.
How
wonderful is Krishna.
How wonderful
Hare
is
Krishna.
Krishna.
Jai. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much,
Bhim-
Adi Prabhu. Thank you.
Speaking of feminine in us, Bhima Prabhu has his hand up.
Haribol, wonderful class. Um, such an intriguing subject matter, but I remember one time hearing 60. Krishna doesn't stop at 16,108, and that all of us have to understand that. I mean, Freud once said, "What does a woman want?" Is a psychoanalyst who probably saw hundreds of women in his lifetime confessing their desires and their sorrows and their thwarted aspirations. And he couldn't figure out, what does a woman want? And I speak of this symbolically, metaphorically, what do we all want? But especially, what does a woman want? Because as Prabhupada said, Matajis or women make the best disciples because it's easy for them to give themselves to Krishna. Ultimately, every woman in this world wants Krishna. And if you're aware of that, when you chant, male or female, you're calling on Krishna. Your wife is calling on Krishna. She's not calling your name. She's calling Krishna. Let us just get over this. We're not men and women. We're not husband and wife. She is Krishna's. And you are too, but you're going to have to go take a bath in Manasarova. You're going to have to take that bath and get over your so-called manliness. We are not the Purusha. We are fools trying to imitate Krishna. But every woman wants Krishna. And that's why they should know to be unabashedly bold in approaching Krishna and to leave the fools of this world behind. I know that's very heavy words, but ultimately, if we understand that, then we can understand why Krishna requires this surrender and abandonment of this world first and foremost before we approach him or as we approach him. So it becomes very apparent that Krishna has no end to the amount of cheating he's going to do. There's no end to it. It's forever and ever. And we just have to learn to say amen. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Bhima Prabhu. Always wonderful to hear from you. Thank you for your cutting words that really, give us a glimpse of the true reality. So thank you so much. And yes, when you were sharing, it made me think of one thing in this actual chapter that we're looking at, chapter 69, that Narada Muni, who of course in every way is an extremely exalted personality, we can't even imagine. Narada Muni has personally been given a blessing by Krishna that he can always eternally travel anywhere he wants in any realm, chanting Krishna's glories. So Narada Muni is just an incredibly, incredibly exalted, worshipable personality. So Krishna becomes very pleased with Narada Muni upon receiving him as a visitor to his Dwarka kingdom. And he says to Narada Muni, and Narada Muni has just beheld all of Krishna's opulences, like we're talking about here, all of these incredible displays of Krishna's opulence and power and just the far-reaching potencies of the Supreme Lord. And Krishna says then, Narada, is there anything that I can do for you? Is there anything that you want? And rather than ask for any, tiny kernel of that opulence, Narada says to Krishna, just as I travel through all of these different worlds, just please help me to always remember you. So, as you were saying, Bhima Prabhu, this is a wonderful example of how the pure devotees, they don't in any way feel any envy or any desire to possess even a crumb of Krishna's opulence. They just want to remember him, and that is their wealth. That is all they can hope for.
Wow. Yes, Bhima Prabhu spoke strongly, but it was very purifying and uplifting what he said. Thank you, Bhima Prabhu, for speaking in that manner. Okay, any further questions? Reflections? Maybe there's a point that you'd like to reflect back. At Dina Bandhu Prabhu, please unmute yourself. There's no envy in the spiritual world, and we shouldn't try to put Krishna in the box. We are in the box. We should get out of the box and not to put Krishna in the box. That's my takeaway. Yeah. All right. So who's the most introverted on this call? Raise your hand. We'll ask you to speak. Okay. Krishna Kumari, would you like to speak? Krishna Kumari? Oh, Manoharji, followed by Krishna Kumari, please.
Hare Krishna. I was just wanting to reflect. Thank you, Prabhu, for giving class. I was just wanting to reflect on what we read from the 10th canto about the kind of exchanges between the queens. There was that one instance where there was the Parijata flower that Krishna gave to Rukmini Devi, and Satyabhama, whose nature is a more fiery, so to say. She also wanted a Parijata tree, and so that inspired the pastime where Krishna goes to Indra's abode and takes the Parijata flower, and there's this whole pastime. So it's nice to see how there may be this sense of spiritual competition, as Srila Prabhupada states it, but it's not out of envy for each other like we see in this world. It's both so that Krishna can taste these different mellows of relationships directly with them and also between each other. So that was some few thoughts on that idea.
Thank you so much, Manohar Prabhu. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you, Manohar. Such a helpful point. Okay, it's darshan time. I don't know if we have time for another question or reflection. Yeah, it's about to blow. Okay, thank you, Dinabandhu Prabhu. Wonderful class. Everybody, turn on your cameras if you can. Yeah, Krishna Kumari, thank you. Good to see you. Okay.
Shri Radha Murida Gora Janjana Seva Bhagavan Ki Jai. Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Afterglow, dear devotees. When we hear about Krishna's enjoyment and we don't get disturbed or envious, that means that the philosophy was presented properly with the proper intention, in the proper mood, and by the devotee who himself follows the philosophy nicely and sincerely, like Dina Bandhu Prabhu. So thank you again for your wonderful class, Dina Bandhu Prabhu. And as promised, we're going to hear from Krishna Kumari. She's going to share a reflection from this class with us.
I would just have to say that I also just enjoyed hearing Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. I was like, wow, this is great. I think when I'm struggling, I think of, I really want to know you. So I really want to know my sweet Lord. And this was a great way to start the day, hearing about Krishna.
Wow. Thank you, Krishna Kumari. It's such a nice reflection. Yeah, all we want is to hear about Krishna. Absolutely. Yes. Thank you, Krishna Kumari.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you
Okay,
so
let's
much,
do,
Kumar.
let's
So
do,
nice to see you.
go ahead, Dinabandha Prabhu. Go ahead.
No,
Say it.
I was thanking Krishna Kumari and saying, so that's so nice to see her. Yeah, thank you. But yes, I just relate to that feeling also of just, wanting to hear, wanting to hear about Krishna. And, I'll just speaking, openly, of course, for myself, it's not always that I'm in that space or I'm like eager to hear. I hope and pray to get to that space, but sometimes it's just the right moment where our hearts are just open, and it's just we get to actually feel how pleasing Krishna's pastimes are. We only let that openness happen.
I don't want to hear about Krishna at all. I'm kind of forced to hear about Krishna because I want to hang out with people who are happy and are together in their lives and who know kind of what's going on and aren't part of this crazy world. But in order to do that, I have to hang out with these devotees of Krishna, and they're always talking about Krishna. Even though I came to this crazy world to forget about Krishna, I'm forced to hear about Krishna. So I'm a reluctant devotee at best. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Bhima Prabhu. Well, it makes me think of how, Krishna himself says that, one who considers himself to be his devotee is not his devotee, but one who is the devotee of his devotees. That person is considered to be his devotee. So if you like hanging out with the happy devotees and spending time with them, I think it's a sure sign that things are going well.
Bhima Prabhu is not just hanging out, he's serving the devotees. He's sending vegetables. He's coming up with all these wonderful poetic points every day. Thank you, Bhima Prabhu. Thank you. You are indispensable.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, Dinabandha Prabhu, any finishing lines from you? Final instructions for us?
Just I want to express my gratitude to each and every one of you for being who you are, for the wonderful community that we share, and for all of your amazing examples. And like Ananda Bihari Prabhu was just giving the example of Bhima Prabhu, I know that there are so many things that you're all offering, sometimes in a very quiet way behind the scenes. So just wanted to offer my obeisances to all of you, and thank you so much for all that you are, all that you do in the community. And Hare Krishna. Yeah, grateful to know everybody. Hare Krishna.
Right. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, Srimad Bhagavatam, King of Books, Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada, Ki Jai, Dinabandhu Prabhu, Ki Jai, every single devotee on this call, Ki Jai, every single devotee on YouTube, the humanity at large, Ki Jai to you. Thank you. Happy Sunday. Go to the temple, chant, dance, eat for Krishna, sweat for Krishna, hang out with devotees, and come back again tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Happy
Wonderful is Krishna.
How wonderful is Krishna? It's a festival time, dear devotees. We have Janmashtami coming up. We have Radhashtami coming up. We have Srila Prabhupada's appearance day coming up. So please hang out with the devotees. As Giri Govardhan Prabhu says, let's continue hanging out with the devotees. Let's continue, dear devotees. Hare Krishna.
He is looking at you, sweethearts.
Yeah.